A DexaMe scan is the most accurate body composition tool currently in the market to help you measure and track your fitness and health goals. In this video, we'll go over a DexaMe body composition scan report and walk you through the wealth of information that you will gain from your scan. On the first page, you'll notice this image covering your head to toe. This view is great for seeing your entire body and how your tissue composition is distributed in one snapshot. You will notice here three main shades: white being your bone, blue being your muscle and lean tissue, and yellow being your body fat. You can see on this scan that this female has a fairly even distribution of lean and fat tissue. You can appreciate that most of the fat is located just under the skin, covering the perimeter of the body, and is mainly concentrated around the torso area. You will notice most of the yellow to be in areas where fat accumulates, such as android or abdominal area, the gynoid or buttock and thigh area, as well as the armpits and skin fold areas. Similarly, the blue muscle areas are covering the white bone. Also of note on the top part of the page, there is your biodata, which includes your height and weight that was measured manually by the technician when you visited the clinic to do your scan. The third page is dedicated to your body fat percentage and composition. The weight table on the left lists the breakdown of your total body weight in kilograms and then breaks that down to the three main components: fat, lean mass, and bone. While the total weight is given in kilograms, for additional accuracy, each subcategory of weight is given in grams. You can add these three components yourself, and you can see that they should add up to the total mass. This mass is calculated based on the scan results completely, and you can see that it may differ from the weighed mass that you did on the scale that is listed on the first page. The table on the right-hand side shows your body fat percentage in blue text, which is a simple division of your fat mass by your total body mass. In this case, it's 30,463 grams by 73,900 grams, which is 41.2%. In other words, about 41.2% of this client's body makeup is entirely fat alone. The table also gives a range of values to be able to compare your body fat percentage in order to help motivate and see room for potential growth. If you are already in the athletic range, then good on you, and keep up the great work. Similarly, the table below gives another set of reference ranges to compare body fat percentage specifically with different types of athletes. This is also simply for measure of comparison and motivation for growth. On the bottom left-hand side, this purple chart helps provide a final measure of comparison called the percentile. This chart helps you compare yourself to all other individuals of your own gender and your own age to know where your body composition lies compared to the average person. In the middle, you can see the dark black line which shows the 50th percentile, which represents the average body fat percentage of a female at any given age. You can see that as we age, our body fat percentage tends to increase during our lifetime, starting at around 28% for females and peaking at around 35%, only to come down close to old age and frailty. Our client in this report is at the top of the percentile chart, close to the 90th percentile. This means that if you lined up all the women in the world of her age, roughly 45, she would have more body fat than 90% of those women and have less body fat than 10% of them. Seeing this chart, our client was motivated to work hard to lower her body fat percentage to bring it closer to the 50th percentile. Finally, at the bottom of the page is another comparison tool showing the body mass index chart, and below this chart is a BMI scale. This scale is here for your reference. Remember that BMI is a rough and crude way to measure obesity. In many cases, the number reflected may not be accurate since it cannot differentiate between problematic fat tissue and healthy lean tissue. Page 4 focuses on the android-gynoid ratio. These two areas are where the bulk of your body fat are stored, and knowing the ratio between them can be helpful for better understanding your body's fitness. Android fat is the body fat located in the central and lower abdominal area and is associated with increased fat of the inner organs. The more of this fat you have, the more likely you are to have risk of metabolic diseases. Gynoid fat is fat that is located in the hips, upper thighs, and buttock areas. This fat is less dangerous for your health. Therefore, you would want your android fat amount to be less than your gynoid fat amount. The DEXA scan measures both these areas for you, and this report gives you the ratio. If your android fat is less than your gynoid fat, your android over gynoid ratio will be below 1. Ideally, it should be less than 1 in males and less than 0.8 in females. In this individual, you can see that her ratio is 1.12, which is higher than desired. Page 5 focuses on the visceral adipose tissue, or VAT. This is the fat that coats your inner organs and is most associated with metabolic disease risk. While the android fat measures all the fat in the abdominal area, the VAT only measures the fat coating the inner organs of that region. You can see in this diagram on the left the difference between the VAT, which is colored in pink, and the subcutaneous fat that is highlighted in blue. How is the VAT measured? The DexaMe scan is able to quantify your VAT in both weight, grams, and how much space it takes up, or volume in inches cubed. You can see that this patient has a mass of 1,512 grams of visceral fat and a volume of 1,603 cubic centimeters. How can you compare where you stand with these numbers? The science of VAT measurement is still in its early stages, as studies showing its importance in many different disease processes are just beginning. In the table below, there is a rough set of reference ranges of a fit European population of men and women. Since it isn't North American, it is inaccurate to compare it to. However, this is so far the best collected range, so we will use it for reference. You can see that for our female client, her VAT is well above the 90th percentile for both mass and volume, hers being above 1,500 for both areas where the 90th percentile for fit European women is around 500 for both mass and volume. If you would like a more advanced measurement of VAT, divide your VAT in grams by your total body fat mass in grams, and then multiply by 100 to get your VAT over body fat ratio in percentage. You can find reference ranges for the VAT over body fat ratio here in the same reference chart. For our client in this report, the VAT is 1,512 grams, and body fat is 30,463 grams. Dividing these gives a value of 0.0496, and when multiplied by 100, gives us 4.96%. In other words, about 5% of this patient's fat is visceral, and they are well above the 90th percentile, which is 2.14 on our table, of normal. The remainder of the report, pages 6, 7, and 8, are all about your fat-free body mass, which is made predominantly of muscle, lean mass, and bone. Lean mass is crucial to your health, as it includes all of the active and healthy soft tissue in your body that burns and uses energy. This is also the area of your body where you would like to see increase with any type of physical training and exercise. On the right here is your total measurement of lean mass in grams in your body and compares it to your total mass, kilograms. This individual's total weight is 73,900 grams, and their total lean mass is 41,183 grams. Their total lean percentage is 55.7%. The higher your lean mass, the stronger and healthier your body will be in general. Knowing your total lean tissue mass can help you accurately estimate how much calories your body burns within a 24-hour period without any actual physical work, otherwise known as your resting metabolic rate. The next section displays your resting metabolic rate, which in this client is 1,268 calories per day. This is a good number to know to help you work towards your fitness goals, depending on what they may be. If you are hoping to lose weight, You should target having a calorie deficit of below this number. If you are hoping to increase muscle and overall weight, you should perhaps consider doing the opposite. The next section reviews the health and strength of your bone in the form of bone mineral density, or BMD, in grams per cubic centimeters. You can see for this patient that number is 1.185 grams per cubic centimeters. The graph on the left here beautifully compares that number to where it should be based on your gender and age. You can see that this individual's BMD is in the green, where it should be. There is also a T-score and percentile available for comparison. If you notice that you are below the 50th percentile or your T-score is lower than -1, then you should consult with your physician regarding your bone health. Weight-bearing exercises and good calcium and vitamin D intake are helpful in strengthening your bones. On the next page of the report is the Relative Skeletal Muscle Index, or RSMI. Your arms and legs do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to your daily activities. The RSMI helps quantify how much muscle mass you have in your arms and legs and compares it to your height. The higher your RSMI, the higher your ratio of muscle and the stronger you will be. As you can see, this individual has an RSMI of 7.92 kilograms per meter squared, which is well above the RSMI cutoff in the chart below. Sarcopenia refers to low muscle mass or muscle wasting. The final page of the report shows symmetry of the right and left sides of the body. This is especially useful for those who are looking for balance in their right and left limbs for more targeted workouts and potentially rehabilitation from injuries. The tables here break down the weight of lean mass, fat mass, and bone mass on the right and left sides, as well as the difference between these. For a list of glossary and vocabulary terms, please refer to the last 2 pages of the report, which goes over a list of terms used in the report and their respective definitions. That concludes all the major information pertaining to your body on the report. Remember that the best way to track your progress is to have a repeat scan after your dietary and lifestyle changes, and that our software and your future reports will have specialized charts comparing your progress on repeat scans. We strongly recommend speaking to your healthcare providers about reviewing your report with you to ensure that the information contained here is well utilized to meeting your goals. Thank you for choosing DexaMe as your body composition provider. And if you have any questions or feedback about how the report is explained, please do not hesitate to contact us at fit@dexa.me or through our website www.dexa.me.